Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have a great rack. I think I have Atrite and Tatia. So I have 7-letter bingos on my rack. Hopefully one of those will play. And I may have the opportunity to play an 8. I would have retreat through an R. Just wondering if there is a third anagram in terms of the 7-letter words on my rack. So Atrite, Tatia, titrate. Okay, so we're up to 3 now. Possibly that's it. So if opponent changes, well, he doesn't. Do I have a double-double through the E? Slightly difficult to see bingos when you've got 3 T's. Are these tiles super bingo-y? Apart from that. Well, I'm not seeing a bingo at all through a second E. There could be one. I may simply be overlooking it. So my next attention goes to column 8. Do I have a bingo beginning or ending with D? Well, I do, because I have titrated for 80. And that's quite a nice rack. It's not a bingo-y rack, but it's balanced, and I've got a good scoring tile in the X. And I'm drawn to the spot between the I and the E for my X. I may be able to get it doubled twice. I'd quite like to split up the F and the H, and my preference would be for playing the F. It's less bingo-y. So a play of Fax would achieve that. Wow, and opponent has provided a spot for Fax for 34 points. Could I achieve anything more in this spot between the E and the I? And I don't think I can, and this rack leave is good, and it goes particularly well with the T's in titrated. I draw the first S, which is always a welcome sight. The V, less so. But a play of Haven would sort the rack out. I'd certainly like to play the V and one of the N's. Anything else needs to be justified by the score. Yex takes nothing after it, so Fax has choked up development of the left-hand side of the board. I think most of the action's going to be through titrated. Close to Savannah. If my E were an A, I would have that. Not seeing any good candidate plays at present. I note that I have Haven on my rack, but I'm not seeing anywhere to play that. I could play Hive in column 7. Well, opponent's taken that spot. But look at this, my H can go next to ET. Is there any way of playing it there other than just AH? Well, I have NAH, which at least sorts out the duplicate N's. This rack leave isn't terrible. It goes well with the I of titrate, and to some extent with the T, and the score is good. I could play Haven in the same spot, so 28 for Nar, 26 for Haven. I think I'll go with the lower scoring play, because I'd like to be shot of the V when I've got the S on my rack. So Haven for 26. Not great. I have duplicate N again, just the solitary vowel. I do, however, have the Z, but with only one vowel. I may struggle to get a good score from the Z. Zen is good, that's one of the new words to have come in. Arga does not take an N. I could play ZE and FE, but that's asking for trouble, keeping five consonants. So it's not a great position to be in. However, I do have a 70-point lead, which is a good position to be in. Now, a number of you have commented on my reaching 500 subscribers, and I'm delighted to have reached that landmark. So thank you one and all for subscribing to this channel and making it what it is. I guess the next target is 1,000 subscribers, so do tell all of your Scrabble chums about this channel. There are still very few Scrabble channels on the internet and very few producing regular content, so people who are interested in Scrabble may not be aware of the existence of this channel. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon supporters for their financial assistance in keeping this channel going. It's my only source of financial assistance, and I'm hugely grateful to all of you who are Patreons. Now, back to this game. Haven takes an S in front, so row A quite hot. A shame I don't have one more vowel. I may have been able to reach it and get the Z doubled. Epic takes an S in front. Can't see anything great utilising that. There may be some Benz words, benzene, benzal, but I don't think any of them play at present. I haven't... Okay, I'll come back to that. So, river for 16, which is good. It's not a big score. And, wow, opponent has provided a great spot for me with that vowel. I can now play biz, hanging on to my precious E, for 54 points, which is a big score. I'm just wondering if I have something which splits up the N, a longer play, but I don't think I have. What about a play with the Z where the B is? Well, I still can't see a 5-letter play in column 5, and that's not a disaster given the Haven front hook. And retaining the E makes a big difference to this 5-vowel keep. So I'm going with this. I draw one more vowel, which is good, but is it good enough to have a bingo? I've got Nields in row A. This rack, although it's all bingo-y tiles, doesn't contain any fantastic 5-letter sets that I'd like to keep. Now, before I stick with Nields, are there any bingos? That might be a play beginning with A or I. Not seeing anything with the A, close to Annelids if the E had been an I. And not seeing anything with the I. Just having a look at Nields for its score. About 36 or 37 points, so definitely okay to burn the S. Neat only takes an S after it. Nowhere for Nield without the S, which scores enough to justify not playing this. So Nields for 36. I draw the Q, but I have an I and an N to go with it, so I have Chi and Chin on my rack. Not seeing anywhere for either. My lead now over 100 points. I may need to hang on to the Q for one more turn. I've got scoring tiles in the B and the H. The O's do not go well with the Q, so a play of bow or hobo for a decent enough score. Maybe my move, but I'm really struggling to see anything on this board. The only decent spot appears to be parallel to Nields, and opponent changes. Wow. So what to do? I've got nothing, nearly nothing, which goes after R. I have a B, so I could play Hob. Let me see what this looks like. Only 13 points and retaining the Q. Probably not worth doing. Not worth doing. What about a play up here? I can burn both O's with Oh-ho. EO, not good, although it was played and unchallenged in the final game of the National Scrabble Championship last weekend. One of the tiles was a blank and both players overlooked that EO had been made, and it did determine the outcome of the game and the championship, so a massive moment in Scrabble. So what to do? Do I change? What am I missing? Arga only takes an R and an S after it. What about noob? Well, again, only 13 points, and the Q is worth about -8 and 8 or 9, which is close. In which case I'm inclined to jettison it. I'm going to change. And I will keep nothing. And pretty good, I have Nostrum. Does that play? I don't think it does. What about an 8-letter play? Not seeing anything beginning with T or I. Epic does take an S after it, but Nostrum has S in third place, not first or second. And I don't believe it has an anagram. Can't see anything beginning with N. And the E not available for a floater. Opponent changed 4, so he was only retaining 3 tiles, so there are no set of 3 tiles, which is an absolute monster. 4 random tiles really reduces your expectation of a bingo. He may have one, but he's not guaranteed to, or even likely to. Now, I was saying something earlier. Fantastic bingo by my opponent. Plays both blanks and provides a ton of floaters and draws to within 45 points of me. So, great play by him. Do I have a bingo? And I'm not sure I do. This doesn't feel a great set of tiles, apart from the bingo that I spotted, which still doesn't play. Just checking that. I don't think I've overlooked it anywhere. Can't see anything beginning with S or R or E. I've already considered T. So I don't have a bingo, but I do have a lead. What to do? Well, the M's the scoring tile, the U is my non-bingo-y tile. So I could play for 18, not a bad score. A pretty good Rackley, which goes well with any vowel. And there is a floating E in Tapsters. It would be nice to play off one more tile. River only takes a D in front, I believe. Yeah, I'm not seeing anywhere else I can play MU. So I'm playing here. And I do draw vowels, 2 of them. So now do I have a bingo? Certainly these are all bingo-y tiles. I have Isotron, which plays in row J and epics. Torsion and Nitroso are the other two bingos. So, is it just Isotron which plays? I believe it is. So, any 8s through the tiles of Tapsters. What about the S? Triple word lane. Well, that would be an anagram of torsions, and I'm not seeing it. Well, Isotrons is an anagram, that doesn't play. Not seeing anything beginning with R, and in any event it probably wouldn't be better than Isotron. Great, Isotron remains. What about a play beginning with E or T? Not seeing them, and if they are better than Isotron, I think it'll only be marginally so. Well, I think this is okay. I have a couple of vowels, I have a scoring tile, or a couple of scoring tiles, and I have a good lead, so I'm in reasonable shape. However, a bingo would draw my opponent right back into the game, and there are still 27 tiles to come. The O of Isotron, the second one, creating a double lane, and also a spot for a scoring tile, so both my K and H can go in that spot. Now, opponent's played Falcon, but both blanks, and all S's have gone, so he is not opening up row O. Falcon has no other post hooks apart from an S. Opponent has provided a spot for my H. But I can't get my K doubled. So do I have a spot? Well, do I have a double? I don't think so. Am I able to play the H and the K? Well, I can, and it's quite useful opponents played Falcon because it's reminded me that I can play a word in this spot which only takes an S without opening up the final column. However, Hank takes a Y as well, and there's one of those to come, so I suspect I can do better. I'm only 90 points ahead, which is good, but it also means I need to be careful not to open up a bingo lane for my opponent. Well, I thought I would have a range of options underneath this O, but I'm not seeing them. I don't have to play the H and the K, I was just looking for score. Kang has the same problem in that it takes more than an S at the end, it takes an A. I could play car, but that takes an A and an O. And I don't really want to make it easy for my opponent to score well with a non-bingo play, because then a bingo would give him a real chance of winning. What about playing Shank? 24 points, not particularly good at all. 10 minutes on my clock. What about a play in column 12? Can I get my K or H doubled? Don't think so. What about playing Honk? 22 points, not great. And I don't really like putting the K next to a double word square. Thong. 18 points. I don't like any of these options. I don't have an E for going after the R of Isotron or of Tapsters. Chank, not good, I don't think. Hock, 34, that is a good score. This rack leave is pretty good, and there are a ton of I's to come. An H is not a particularly useful floater for a bingo, and it would be extremely rare for an opponent to get a triple-triple with this H, and also all the S's are gone, which go well with H's. I'm going with this. Pretty good, that looks close. That looks close. Angostura through OS. I don't think there is a 7 here. I think I have Argonaut through the O, which is good, and the H may well prove a distraction for my opponent. And Argonaut stops one square short of row O with no S's or blanks to come. So hopefully that will remain available. If my bingo spot is taken, then I probably do have a decent play through the H. I have Naught, NAUGHT, turning over a lot of tiles, taking out the lane, and scoring well. Do I have an alternative bingo? I'm not sure I do. It's not a massively bingo-y rack with the G and the U and no I. I'm just fortunate that the bingo is made through the O. And look at that, opponent is distracted by the H. And I do have Argonaut. So Argonaut for 68. Bang! 68 points. And I draw a rack from hell, but I have a lead of 150 points. And there are only 9 tiles left. This game has to be won. But it's going to be a grim ending with this rack. Although it's balanced in terms of vowels and consonants, it's probably one of the worst possible racks which meets that criterion. I can't see anything through the R which gets tripled. Through an O I would have VoIP, no O. No R for Agar. So yes, grim indeed. However, I have a really good lead. Nice play by opponent. Just 28 points. I thought for a moment it was one line lower and was a bingo-y score. It's not. 5 tiles in the bag, which means I can't change. You can only change when there are 7 tiles or more in the bag. I do have an I for going underneath the Q, but I don't have any VIT words, which would stop opponent getting a triple letter play. 6 minutes on my clock. Surely there's something I can do here. Well, there has to be. I have no alternative but to play. I could play bit, but I don't like that for what it offers my opponent. 5 tiles in the bag, so I will be drawing more tiles. If I play through the L, I'll be opening up the triple word line, column 15. I don't have an E for going underneath the R, so I don't have any parallel plays. Nothing to go on the end of hock. This is grim. I haven't even got a BA I play. I could play pub and ab. Only 11 points and retaining through 3 I's and a V, which is pretty horrific. But I am stopping opponent playing through the R, and I'm offering him nothing. But can I do better? 4 minutes on my clock. What about a play down from the N? Well, nothing. I'm going with this. This is pretty grim stuff, and I'm really not seeing anything. Well, that's not bad. I pick up an E. So I do now have Veit and A, E, and Chi for over 20 points. And I have Viold. Opponent's blocked that, but I have Viold down here. Nice score for opponent, 40 points, so he's about 100 away. I don't think he's going out with this rack. Viold is for 34. He's not going out, but then I'm not going out either with this keep. So is there a way of guaranteeing a 2-move out? So is there anywhere for divvy? Pi is good, but divvy is blocked. Viold is a decent score, so I mustn't forget that. I'm going with Viold. 34 points. So EII, what can I do with this? Well, the one thing I can't do is go out in 1, I don't think. Can't think of any consonants which would enable me to do that. I have Gi and In for 6 points. I have Kai and Oi for 8. Opponent should be able to go out in 2. Yeah, he's got double E. He can go out. He can make P, and he can make E and Ed. So he's certainly going out. What can I do with EII? So I have Rai for 9, and, well, how long have I got? I've got 3 minutes. Can I do better than REI? With a T and a D, I would have had Tied with EII. Can't see anything which puts my I after the Q. So I'm going with this. And opponent just has now to find the best place for his pair of E's, and he'll have a number of options to choose from. Ume is now good for 11. And opponent goes out for 9. So, the final score, 356 for my opponent, 474 for me, a winning margin of 118 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first, and he played geoid. I have attrited and titrated, no double doubles available. opponent's rack and he's drawn the blank. Jalopik for 68, non-bingo, but a double-double. He doesn't spot that, he plays J. This is my rack, F4. Wow! Well, I did play Fax, but I played it for 34. I could have got 8 more points by playing it above J. Opponent's rack. Miss bingo. Could have had Specchia and Ice Scape. Plays Epic, so that was a let-off for me. My rack. Nav and Vet. Okay, and I play... Wow, I thought about the H going next to ET, but not the V. And I played Haven for 26. I think Nav would have been a better play. Shen is definitely 2 points better than NS. How many points better? Possibly 8 or 9 points better. So I think that's a big miss. Wow, another miss bingo for opponent, but jolly difficult to see. Perceiver through V and R, and opponent plays River. My rack, and I play Biz for 54. No bingo for opponent, he plays Roo. And I play Niels for 36, which looks fine. Both blanks for opponent, no bingo. And he changes. And this is my rack. Wow, Feek, I didn't consider that. I3. Well, I didn't consider it, but I don't like it, stopping 1 square short of a double word square with 3 S's and 2 blanks to come. So, what did I do? I changed. Yeah, and all the other plays keep the Q, so, and don't score hugely, so I like my play. Fantastic rack for opponent, almost too good. Scores 71. Could have got 6 more points by playing in column 10. My rack, I have Nostrum, nowhere for it. And no bingos available. I play for 18. And I like that because there weren't many more points on offer. And the rack leave of Trons is quite good. Opponent's rack. Plays Udo, and that's great for me because I have Isotron, but there were other bingos. There was Tortones from the T of titrated and down from the T of tapsters, so Tortones, quite high probability, but I didn't see it. I did, however, see Isotron. Opponent's rack. Plays Falcon. And this was a rack I spent a while on, and in the end went with Hock for 34. K11. Honk, I considered that for 34, but didn't like the Y hook. And I think the Y hook more dangerous than the H floater. Opponent has the Q, plays Hyen. And I have Argonaut, which was a welcome sight, pretty much guaranteed me the win. Opponent plays Quail, and I have this rack from hell. So, what was on offer? Well, I considered Bit and Chi, didn't like it. Pretty much nothing on offer. I guess Blip, quite nice. And yeah, I went with Pub, which wasn't fantastic, but gave nothing away. Blip, for example, did provide access to triple word squares. Opponent's rack, and he plays Waif, which was a great score. And now I play Viold for 34. Just quickly looking down here, nothing obviously recommends itself as an out in 2. Let me just click Tell Examiner 1 best, and I think Examiner 1 considers more moves than just the candidate plays identified here. I still feel there is an out in 2 with this rack, I just haven't identified it. Possibly not. Now there was 5 available at the bottom, keeping DWEEB. Maybe that would have been the play. Shouldn't take too much longer. I think it usually takes about 30 seconds max to find what's best. Just, well, Viold, it says, is best. So that was my play. Opponent's rack, no out, plays Glom. And no out for me, H11. REI and Pube. What did I do? I did something slightly less. REI for 9, so 4 points dropped at the end. So, fantastic game. Big win, big score, plenty of bingos. So, all good fun. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.